Different dates, different nation, but the same tragedy. Not just deaths, but division. Because when the Twin Tower collapses on 9/11 or the Mumbai burn on 26/11 or when our Jawans are being attacked, it is not just the destruction physically but emotionally. Because when many were crying, there were many who were celebrating in the very same soil of their own land. They were smiling, which is the biggest proof that the nation does not collapse because of bombs, but collapse because of its own people. Ladies and gentlemen, I come from a land of nation where a state like Maharashtra who flexes their GDP calling themselves as the economic engine of India, the land of Bollywood, the hub of dreams, where government works day and night to shut down the comedian shows and silence artists, but cannot shut down the local Mumbai train doors because of which 5 to 7 people die every day, where politician prefers to speak Hindi, but the citizens are beaten, but not because they have violated a law, but because they are speaking Hindi, not Marathi. I say that yes, the state is very strong, but in such a federal state where there's lack of sense of unity, will the nation become stronger? The answer is no. Or let's move to the south where the states like Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu who flexes their GDP, high skyscrapers, infrastructure, building, calling themselves as the most literate, developed and progressive, often celebrate their strength against the national policies. Where politician orders a shopkeeper to remove the Hindi subtitle boards from their shop, citizens are beaten for not speaking Kannada, and youth hesitates to say Bharat Mata ki Jai, but very free to say Palestine Zindabad and fighting for the rights of the Palestinians. But when asked about the Pahalgam attack, the Bangladeshi Hindus, the Kashmiri Pandits, they say that it is none of their matter being an Indian citizen. Then I ask that yes, these states are very strong, but with lack of patriotism in such a federalism, will the nation become stronger? The answer is no, and that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I stand against the motion, believing that strong state does not guarantees to make a nation stronger. And I will make you believe that where there is federalism, regionalism rises and nationalism cannot exist, because nationalism is about its people, nationalism, patriotism, sense of unity, while state is merely of GDP, infrastructure and development. Let me start with United States of America, that my opponents will be saying as the best federalism example. But I stand here today claiming that USA has become a global joke on the global platform and is becoming a weak nation. Yes, you heard it right. Let me give you a very prime example of Zohar Mamdani, the first Muslim mayor of New York City, having an ideology of he will defund the police, he will legalize sex work, and his words that he will end the chapter of collaboration of New York City Hall with the federal government and the Donald Trump, the USA's president. Then I ask this house that when the states have so much of different ideologies, when one says that legalize LGBTQ rights, abortion, conversion of genders, when one criminalizes it, when the nation cannot have one ideology, one vision on the global platform, then how you will say that the nation is becoming strong? Or just look at my own nation, where a place like Ladakh, that once used to get few hundred crores of rupees from Jammu and Kashmir from out of a total budget of 80,000 crore rupees, is now roughly getting 6,000 crore rupees of budget, becoming strong. But now they are demanding a statehood, an inclusion in the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India. So I ask this house a very simple question: is it not selfishness, regionalism, where nationalism is no more a priority? Because they are thinking of their own jurisdiction, own rights, preserving their natural resources, but not even once thinking about the national security and collective progressiveness of the development by those natural resources of this nation. Or you take the example of my own state, Dev Bhumi Uttarakhand, the land of God, pilgrimage, peace and purity, where the land where we have today new highways, development, new projects, development at a peak that government is spending 923 crore rupees just on advertisement, but not able to protect journalism. Where journalists like Rajiv Pratap body is found dead in Uttarkashi because he was exposing scam. Or you take the example of Mukesh Chandakar, whose body was found in a septic tank in Chhattisgarh because he was exposing road scam. Then I ask this house a very simple question that yes, these states are becoming stronger, but with the collapse of the fourth pillar of the democracy of this nation, that is journalism, can you say that the nation will become stronger? The answer is no. I challenge my opponents to look into the eyes of the Kashmiri Pandits and the women from West Bengal and ask them nationalism, patriotism, and sense of unity for this nation when this nation and state has failed to relocate the Kashmiri Pandits into their homeland, and women cannot even walk freely day and night in the streets of the West Bengal. And even if my opponents or someone in this house who believe that strong state makes strong nation, then I ask a very simple question to this house. That in 2024 Lok Sabha election, Amrit Pal, a terrorist, a pro-Khalistani, being in jail, wins the election from Kadur Sahib constituency with 1,90,000 votes, having a mentality to separate Pakistan, to separate Punjab from India, making Khalistan. Or you take the example of Abdul Sheikh Rashid from Baramulla in Kashmir Valley, wins the election for 2024. So I ask this house a very simple question: when these states will become stronger and stronger in future, but the citizens will vote to the terrorists who will demand a separate nation in the parliament, will you same say this, that strong states make strong nation? Because I repeat in this house that if you want to understand the meaning of sense of unity and patriotism, go and read Soze Watan written by Munshi Premchand, or go and understand when it was asked that will you settle in foreign for a luxury life, Ustad Bismillah Khan replied that can you transport Ganga there? This is what is patriotism means. Because I say that when states are busy in arrogance, when states are busy in caste discrimination, in corruption, when they are building walls by language, by using religion as a weapon, how can a flag be won when hearts are divided and we are keep finding unity in diversity everywhere when there is no patriotism? It is the nation that gives us identity, not the state. And while the nation gives you identity, they do not ask that what is your caste or your religion. The only thing they ask, are you Indian or not? Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. So can I?
Okay, so you praised about different states and about their weak points, that you gave many examples that they are asking for different nation, or they are encouraging means wars and war-like situation. So, in your opinion, is it necessary? So you want like states shouldn't be given the power, like you say that they shouldn't be given the unitary power if you are fearing that there is a risk that they might go against the nation's policy.
So by, though I have not understood the question perfectly, but I can answer this. I'm saying that for the unitary government, if you take the 5 veto nations in the UNSC, China is a unitary government, France is a unitary government, UK is a unitary government, Russia, those saying that they are federal today, they are practicing unitary government. Only one nation, USA, that I quote, has become a global joke. While I'm saying that a state does not guarantees to make a nation stronger, because nation is built by its people. When the India got independence, there were 565 princely states, but Hyderabad, Junagadh and Jammu Kashmir wanted to have a different nation, or they wanted to be a part of Pakistan. It was one iron man who had a thought and filled with patriotism and nationalism who united 565 princely states into one nation. Either I can also say that before independence everyone was fighting for the rights and for the freedom of India, but soon they got the independence, they start thinking about themselves, because in federalism regionalism comes in mind. India is a quasi federal state where in normal time we are federal, but as soon as an emergency comes we convert to unitary government, because B.R. Ambedkar Rao even knew this thing, that India not cannot fully function in such diversity with a federalism. That is the thing. Any other?
Hello. So your entire premise vests in regionalism rise because of identity strengthening through strong states. Do you not think this draws parallel with a fundamental misunderstanding that occurred when there was the reorganization of state and linguistic basis, where majority of the people in power thought that because of the reorganization of states, there would be a rise of regionalism. But did it not end up stabilizing the nation? So, do you not think this is a fundamental error in understanding that just because people become firm in their identity in a region which needs to exist in a nation like India, where tribal people are so often found, do you not think that this is an understanding where you are placing suspicion in your own people by saying that they cannot be firm in their identity while being patriots?
See, I answer you by saying this, that human has a tendency of us versus them. Okay. In federalism, when regionalism rises in your mind, after a certain time we stop a collective progress and we start thinking that to put them down to become up. For example, if you are talking about all the things that you said right now, I give an example, a prime example, that when I talk about Maharashtra, I talk about Kerala, Karnataka, all those infrastructures. Who are the hands those have built those infrastructures? Poor labor from UP and Bihar. Those poor laborers of UP and Bihar who sleep in the construction dust site while these people sleep in luxury. Yet, in the election rallies, these Tamil Nadu politician and Maharashtra politician says that the people of Bihar and UP have a weaker DNA than us and they are illiterates and they come here to spread crime. Who will build those infrastructures if not the people of UP and Bihar? Is it not an anti-national activity saying by an Indian against a whole community? I ask a very simple question. This is what regionalism comes. While I'm saying you take Norway, you take Finland, you take Japan, you take best to best countries, you see there's a unitary government, a national policy implemented to everyone so that person can have an ideology. Nation is built by ideology. Uttarakhand people love to preserve their rights, but what if we start beating the people of Maharashtra who come here to study just because they are not speaking Gadwali? That is called regionalism. That is what I'm trying to say, that strong states some does not guarantees to make a nation stronger, because regionalism rises and nationalism cannot exist at that moment. Any other? Sir, 5 minutes are left. हो गया? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.